Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's turn our attention now to softball in particular. And of course, being with the Glen Waverley Softball Club, who play in the Waverley Softball Association competition. And of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about the season just gone, which was almost 3 months ago now. And both joins us right now. Thanks both for joining us.
No worries. Thank you for having us. It's nice to be back here. A bit different on Zoom. Normally we do our interviews in person, but it's good to be back. And it's actually nice to be talking about softball. I've actually had a bit of a break, so I haven't actually touched anything since the season ended. But yeah, our season wasn't, for our Open 1 team, it wasn't, I would say, what we wanted. We finished, I think it was second on the ladder coming into finals, and unfortunately lost all of our finals. I think we just hit a bit of a rut at the end of the season. I think coming into finals, we were just, hard to get into trying the winning mindset. But we also had a bit of a younger team this year. So I think coming back into next season, it will be good to start fresh again and hopefully kick off a really good campaign. But with our Open 2 team, we did win, which was really, really good. So I coached that team last season, which was a bit of a different step for me, considering I've normally played in that team. But coaching was great and we won back-to-back, which is good. So hopefully we can maybe go for a three-peat maybe next season.
This year in our juniors, all three teams, I think, made finals. In 18s, we were winning almost the entire season up until finals. And then I think we all just got a bit nervous. But we had a pretty good mix of ages in our team this year. And then in 15s, same thing happened. And we had more of an older age group in that one. I was one of the youngest people in the team. Under 12s made finals, which was surprising because we had to merge, but I wasn't in that team this year, but apparently they really stood up to the challenge and had a really good go.
Normally I ask this very first question, but you've actually asked my first question I was going to ask. So I will get both of you to introduce yourselves though, and what teams did you end up playing last season?
I'm Chelsea, so I play in our Open 1 comp, which is the highest level at Waverley Softball Association, and then I also coach our Open 2 team.
I'm Lexi. I played in the under 15s and 18s this season.
Start with the playing side of things before I talk to Chelsea about the coaching side of things. By what both of you just encountered, recounted again from last season. So obviously all the three teams that you played for went through the season reasonably well and then crashed out in the finals, but sounds like in straight sets by those saying. So I guess what did you take out of the final series then?
I know for our Open 1 aspect, I think at the start of the season, honestly, I came into the season, didn't think we would make finals at all. So it was a really good shock to finish top 2. And I think it's just coming into the finals, it's a lot of the girls aren't used to it. They're not used to having to play in that type of situation where, the stakes are a bit higher. There's stuff that you can lose, and it's a different game from just your regular season. Finals mean a bit more. And I think sometimes that just inexperience does affect finals. You're not sure what to expect coming into it. And I think finishing top 2, we sort of thought maybe we could breeze through it. As I think most teams, you get a bit cocky and a bit excited. Oh, we're winning, we're doing really, really well. But finals changes everything. But I think coming into next season, it's just a bit, I think it's good in a way because it comes into next season in terms of like having to mentally prepare yourself for finals, and you already know what happens because you can lose no matter how you're doing through the season.
I think it was relatively the same for our under 18s and 15s. For our under 18s this year, it was our first time we'd all actually played together before. So we're just gelling at that point. But next season, we're going to have basically the exact same team because I think only 1 or 2 players are aging out. And we've all known each other and we're all comfortable now. So I think this year in finals, we all have a lot more experience, and I think we'll do way better this year.
I know that it was a team game, and obviously the team contributed to the success of your respective teams. But tell us a couple of players in your team that had an awesome season, and you can't include yourselves.
It was a while ago. Now I have to try to remember. I'm just trying to remember who won our MVPs. Look, I was one of them, but the other person, who was it? I don't remember. But we have such a really, really good team. Like Kim, for example, she's been in our Open 1 team for years and years, and even though she's on the older side of our team, she is the oldest player, you can still count on her no matter what. She's always someone that you can rely to. Game sense, just play, and just as a leadership role, Kim is someone that you can always turn to and always look to. But we had some really standout players. Casey Smith, a couple of home runs for the year, which is always good. But all of our team is really, really talented. And I think that shows because, finishing top 2 is quite good, and it does show and reflect on our players.
Yeah. For our under 15s and 18s, I think there were a lot of standouts, but for me personally, it would have been Rachel and Elise, because you could always count on them to get on base or lift up the team if something was going wrong. And particularly Rachel, she always was kind of the leader of the team. She just knew everything, like what to do in every single situation. And then with Elise, she was usually one of our pitchers or infielders, and she had a really good game sense. And I think that really helped the team this year.
Chelsea, I know some of your games were live streamed last season, which when I was the only time I was live streamed, I think it was a Tuesday night. Those games down at Waverley. How cool was it to have your games live streamed, and did it sort of help in regard to scouting your opposition?
It was, it's really cool having yourself on live stream, going back on Facebook and seeing what you did and all of that. But it's really good because it gets softball out there to the wider community, which, softball is not a very common sport in Australia. So having it live streamed on Facebook was just amazing. And a lot of your friends and families can watch, even if they live from far away, they just hop on Facebook, they have a look, and it's great. In terms of scouting, I think it was more individual approach of whether you or not scouting. I know that our team didn't really have a big sense of scouting, but I know that Kim and we did, you go back and have a look at the games and you'd be like, oh yeah, she's got us on this pitch, she's got us on that. And I think that's just a bit of knowledge as well coming into live streaming, is that you're looking at things like that. You go back on the day and you'd be like, oh, I struck out, but what could I have done better? So I think it's a bit of, scouting, but also self-review as well, which is good.
For both of you, considering your season ended 3 months ago, have either of you? I know, Chelsea. I pretty much answered this question already, but I'm gonna get both of you to answer it anyway. Have either of you touched the ball at all in 3 months? Obviously, with your season coming up in about 3 months' time.
Yep, Lexi, you have.
Yeah, well, I just recently had the under 14s state tournament, so we did a lot of training leading up to that, and I think we all had a pretty good tournament. And then also I went to New Zealand just as the season was ending, and that was a really great experience too.
Me, I'm enjoying my break. I'm loving a little bit of time off from softball, just enjoying my free time. But I am ready to start the season again. So once preseason rolls around, I'll be there.
Lexi, you mentioned that obviously you just came back from under 14s just a moment ago. Tell us, how did that all go?
For me personally, it was a really great experience because we had a very big team of coaches, but we also brought in girls from Titans, so we got to learn a whole different bunch of skill sets, and we all learned valuable skills that helped us during the tournament. And actually during the tournament, our team gelled really well together. And I think in my experience, we played way better than we thought we would. We held our own against most of the teams, especially Queensland, we actually didn't lose by that much. We put up a really good fight, and I think our team overall was very happy with how we played.
Okay, and what did you learn from the experience in nationals?
Oh, you just gotta never give up. Just keep going with that play. If you bobble it, you just keep going, because the amount of amazing things you learn from just that single play could be really cool. Like, one of our teammates, she was playing at shortstop and she didn't have a clean pickup, but she kept going with the play and she made a detrimental out at first to close the game.
Chelsea, your coaching side of things, obviously the playing side didn't go so well, but your coaching one did. So tell us a bit about that, and especially the grand final.
So I think coming into the last season, and it was around September, October, I was still deciding whether or not I wanted to play. I've been playing Open 2 for about 10 years, and I'm a little bit older in that side, and then I was coming into the season, I was like, you know what, I might coach this year, give some of the younger girls a bit more playing time, and also just to develop my coaching skills, because it's something that I have always wanted to like delve in a bit deeper. So, you know, it's very different putting the coaching cap on, because sometimes you just want to go out there and play. But it was really good. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, a bit hard as well at times, you know. Some of the girls were a bit younger than me, but some were close in age. So it's trying to just, you know, differentiate that playing coach level. But we did quite well. And then coming into the finals, the grand final was just, oh, it was amazing. But my heart rate was like so high. Definitely really not good for like the nerves and the heart. Like it was just, oh, it was incredible. But it was a really good game against EJs. We were the top two all season, and you know, I think we both lost one, we both won one, and then we had a draw against each other. So it was a very big even playing field. We did lose to the prelim to them. We absolutely got annihilated, and I think that was a bit of a wake up call for the girls coming into the grand final. But I think we won 5-4, but it was a very exciting game.
How good was it when you finally got the chance to? Was it a trophy? I can't even remember. Was it a trophy?
Yeah, it's like you get a big plaque.
That's it.
So yeah. So you get a plaque. It's very nice. It's a bit different coming in as like holding it as a coach. But it was very nice to be able to say we won back to back, which was really cool. So it was nice having it return to us again this season.
Do you get a chance to kiss it by any chances?
I did. I took a photo with it, which was nice, you know, a little side one. But yeah, it's nice. I took a lot of photos and I held it for a long time.
How did both of you get involved in softball, and why did you choose it, for everyone who missed all the interviews that we did with both of you?
You can go, Lexi.
Firstly, we were just looking for a team sport. At the start, my sister started playing before me, and I watched it for the first year, and I thought, absolutely not. I'm not playing this. And then the next season rolled around, and I reckon I picked up a softball for the first time, and I was like, oh, this could be pretty fun. So I got more and more into it as the years went on, and I made some really cool, interesting friendships, which really brought me more into the sport. And I think it's really the club that you choose to go to, because Angels, we're a very inclusive club, and they just have anyone. Like we will bring anyone in with a hug. And I think that really is what made me happy to come back and play every single day or season or week.
Just before we go to Chelsea, Let's, you said something about cool and interesting friends or people. What do you mean by that?
She's done it now.
Well, I make friends of all ages. So sometimes I can have like a 5-year-old friend and then Rachel, who's 17. So just having the experience of talking to such different age groups is what's really interesting about it for me.
Good answer, Let's. You got yourself out of that one. So go on, Chelsea.
So my mum used to play softball back in the day. So she used to play at Waverley in the 80s, 70s, 80s. And so once I hit, I think T-ball age around 6 to 7, she first got me playing with a different club. So I was playing with a club called Northvale. And so T-ball was fun, you know, kids energy, kids going crazy everywhere, not much sport actually going on. But I did enjoy it. And then once we hit like the under 12s age, I then moved to Glen Waverley and just started playing there. And I was very glad that I came over because, like Lexi said, Glen Waverley is great. But yeah, so I got playing softball from my mum, which so good on Jackie.
Yeah. So you mentioned that obviously your sister was involved in softball or still involved in softball. So I need to ask you, who's the better softball player? Be honest.
Well, right now, Talia has more experience. So I would say she is. But when I get older, it could be a competition.
Ooh. Love it.
What position did both of you play on the field? And if you had a dream position where you love to play, where would that be?
For my whole season, I played centre field, anywhere in the outfield. But as a dream position, if I could do anything and do it well, I would be a pitcher. I would absolutely crap my pants doing it now, but my dream would be able to throw 120 kilometers an hour and not be scared.
Fair enough. In under 15s, I was one of our main catchers, and then in under 18s, I played outfield mainly. But as Chelsea said, if I could play anything well, I think it would be pretty cool to be a first baseman, which is the exact opposite of what I am right now. But yeah, I'll have to grow a lot. But I feel like being a first baseman is pretty cool because seeing the stretch outs that they make, it's really cool, in my opinion.
Chelsea, you are the coach of the Open A2s. Have you tried to put yourself into pitcher yourself?
Oh, no, I don't need to be humbled. I am perfectly fine with not being spanked around the park. Thank you. So, no, I haven't. And there will be no plans of that either.
Now, let's see. You said you're catcher in under 15s. Obviously, you're an outfielder in 18s. That's a big difference between being, there in the action to, being out in the outfield who, don't get much action out there at times. I'm assuming catch is probably the better position for you in regard to, be there and right there in the action where everything's all going.
Yes. I think I play outfield a lot because in 18s, I'm one of the babies. So we try to give the bigger girls or the older girls more into the action just to keep them playing. And also because they have much more experience than I do.
For you, what does the sport of softball mean to both of you, and especially being there at Glen Waverley, even though both of you just mentioned a bit of it just a moment ago?
Softball has brought me my closest friends. So I've made some great friends and I'm still close with a lot of them that I started playing with when I was like 13, 14. When you're that age, you also grow up with them. So, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I've really enjoyed about softball is that my friends who are 14, I'm nearly 24, it's 10 years. We still keep in contact. We still play together. But at Glen Waverley, it's a big family. And I know that sounds a little bit cliche, but it is a really, really big family. And we're very, very close with one another. It's not just we rock up on Saturdays and play the sport together. It means more to that. And that's one thing that I love about Glen Waverley is the culture that we bring. We make everyone feel included. And also we play the sport that we love and we have fun doing it.
Yeah, that is exactly what I would have said. But the Angel...
She's just copping me.
Yeah. I mean, we're a very committed club to the game. We absolutely just love everything about the sport. So seeing all the older girls, seeing them as sort of like a leading group for us to follow in their footsteps, it's really cool because our club's very small and big at the same time because we have all the way from under 12s up to open ones. So there's a big pathway for you to follow. So I feel like it's really cool just seeing everyone evolve into the softball players they are now and in the future.
What would be your advice to people that should get involved in softball considering the season's around the corner?
It's fun. You get to make really good friends and being active. That's something that I think is very, very important, being active.
Yeah. In softball, almost every game that you play is about having fun. So if you want a fun team sport that can also sometimes be a little competitive, softball is the one for you. Because just everything about softball is so great because you get the whole season and then you get to play finals. And then if you become a really amazing player, you also get to travel. Like some people are traveling to Canada right now and
Correct.
playing softball over there and making great friendships over there as well. And in almost every tournament, you know at least one person from another state. So making those friendships in and out of club is also really fun too.
Finish on a couple of lighthearted questions about your teammates from last season, which was 3 months ago now. So let's see how the memory bank's going. So who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this past season, and what was it?
That's hard. That's
This
so long
is not about a
ago.
player, but one of our umpires in an opens game, or grand final, was third base umpiring, and Casey smacked a line drive straight into him in an embarrassing area.
Yeah, not a good place where you want to be hit by a ball coming at you at like 100 kilometers an hour. Yeah, not good. And it's not good when someone from your club decides to put it on replay at your presentation and we can watch it over and over again. But like we said, softball's a good sport and you have fun.
Was that on live stream by any chances?
Oh, it was. Yeah, you can go back and watch it. If you really want.
It's the Open 2 grand final, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights of the game, was that.
Oh dear.
Maybe not for him, not for him at all, but for everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to try and find that now. Thanks for telling me that. So who's the comedian, the best singer, and the internet TikTok / Be Real?
Oh, Be Real. All I can think of is Rachel and Charles, Lex's sister. Every time, be real, be real, be real. And it doesn't matter what time it was. Everyone had to get involved. The Be Real was going on. But I like to class myself as the comedian of the team. So
yes.
I'm going to put that one to me. So no one else can say no.
I think in our juniors, our comedian was definitely Lily Sharon. She always put a smile on my face. Sometimes I was even on the ground laughing. And then our Be Real people would have been, there's like a whole crew. It would have been Lily,
yes,
Talia, Rachel, and Jenna.
Well, okay.
They were always there.
Mm.
Concerning.
Finish with these last two. Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I don't think so.
Oh, you know what? It depends. I think in past times when I've played at like nationals and I've had a bow in my hand, I've played well, it has to stay. But during club, I think it's normally the time how I put my shoes on. It's weird. I've got to make sure my shoes are done up tightly, they're done up correct. Yeah, so my shoes are a big thing.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't really have any superstitions. I think it's just about the way I hold my bat. Like if I'm not holding it the correct way I like it, I'm not going to hit. Or if I'm not looking in the right place.
Do either of you have a pre-game pump-up song to hype yourselves up before a game?
At the moment, it would be, I like a bit of type DJ music for my pump up. So anything from Dom Dollar.
Yeah.
for our 14s nationals that just happened, the main pump-up song was Party in the USA.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
Can never go wrong.
Yep.
Never.
Yep. I can see that. Okay, so let's see. To finish off that second part of my question, so who is the responsible one for the speakers?
Oh, well, in my club, we don't really have one, but for nationals, it was definitely Maya Rigg. She always has a speaker, like everywhere.
Yes, that's true. And I've got to finish with this last one. What was the funniest ever moment by anyone on the team? Not necessarily embarrassing.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to go with Casey hitting the ball into that guy. I feel bad for saying it, but it was one of the highlights of the game because you just can't believe that it happened. Yeah, that's gonna be mine.
Oh, I reckon a couple of times there was some. Oh, I've got one. In one of the finals, I think. I can't remember, but Lily, Sharon got caught in like, a pick-off or something, or a rundown, and she, has slid in, and the girl has completely trampled over, her hand, and Lily was like, "What just happened?" What? Everyone was looking at her like she was insane because she was like, "What just happened?" And I was like, "You like died. Like you on the ground."
Yeah. Both of you, thank you so much for giving up some of your time to join us. Obviously, the softball season's obviously only 2 to 3 months away, and hopefully all goes well for Glen Waverley Angels, and hopefully I'll be down there again sometime throughout the season.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No worries. And that's Lexi and Chelsea there join us from the Glen Waverley Angels Softball Club, because we'll put all the details up on how you can get involved with the Angels in 23-24. There's more on the Smashboard show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.